Alright guys, welcome to writing class. Again, thousandth time. Alright, so, everyone has seen the cheese shop sketch, right? Everyone here anyway. Okay, good. For those of you who haven't, it's in the link to the email. And those of them who haven't aren't actually here, so it's cool. So the reason I sent you that, besides it being a hilarious bit of 20th century comedy, is that it makes a point. Would anyone hazard what a possible point of that sketch is? We all watched it. What's the moral of that little interlude? Right, it's funny, but it gets at several points. Like, for the first 3 or 4 minutes, the shopkeeper can't understand what the guy's saying. And why is that, do you think?
Because of the words that he's using.
Right, and there's actually a very great word for that. Mr. Walter said the shopkeeper cannot understand the man who comes into the store because of the words he's using. And there's a word for that. Well, there's several words for that because this is the English language and we love backup words. But words among them are, you might want to take notes on this, verbosity, loquaciousness, what else? What else means talks a lot and uses arcane words? Mr. Cornelius, can you think of any words that you would use to describe the guy who goes into the cheese shop?
Intelligent.
Right, so these things, they are linked, but they don't necessarily indicate intelligence. So I would like to stress one thing. Right, one thing. Because your vocabulary is larger than a U.S. Submarine, does not necessarily mean you're intelligent. And I see this failing in some writing styles, and it's one of the things that business writing aims to correct. Is that because you use vocabulary that is esoteric, that means that you are automatically more intelligent than whoever's reading it. That's not the case. So, if you take nothing else away from this class, if it makes you feel any better, I didn't understand when I first watched that more than 1 in 3 of the words the guy who goes in the cheese shop describes. Like, I had to look up esurgent, which means hungry. Right? So, for the point in this writing class, the point of the vocabulary is to enhance your existing vocabulary, not to force you, grab, say, Mr. Saunders' hand and beat him over the head with it with the new vocabulary if it doesn't fit the topic. You see? So, in that sense, we are adding, but we are not forcing you to use them. So you want to use your vocabulary like a scalpel in very precise places at very precise times where it fits. And we're going to be going into this today a little bit. But for the most part, never use big words for the sake of using big words. I understand that I speak very much, but I also had no social life for the first 26 years of my life, and I'm 27. And so I just stayed in reading books and finding the right context. Since all of you have social lives, I can presume that you did not do the same thing. Now then, you all have the email up that I sent you with today's first part of the assignment. We're going to take break a little bit later, since we got a bit of later start today. We're going to take break around 3:10. And the assignment is actually a shrinking down of the assignment we did last time, which, who remembers what we wrote about last time, guys?
Pyramids.
Pyramids, yes, Mr. Walter, pyramids. I gave you an assignment to say, pyramids. You all chose that, chose a sub-facet of that. Outline, brainstormed.
Yeah, see what you're doing over there.
Right. Okay, so the process goes like this. Brainstorm. What's next? What comes after brainstorm, guys?
Outline.
Excellent! Multiple people! My God, you guys are positively alive today. Wonderbar. Wunderbar, sorry. Brainstorm, outline, and what's the last part? What's the last step in writing?
Paragraph, rewrite.
Compose. We'll make it BOC. Brainstorm, outline, compose. Bach.
Revise.
Yeah, compose. We'll get to the revising later. I realized that part of the reason the last assignment took so long was because I insisted you edit your own work. In this case, since you all have had the exam, which had a very heavy emphasis on editing, we're going to use peer review today. So don't worry about editing your own work aside from a basic spell check. All right? So if you'll refer to your email, you were to follow these 3 steps. 3 steps, of course, being brainstorm, outline, and compose. And I gave you, unlike last time, a choice this time. Last time you had to write, choose a facet of pyramids and write on it. In this case, I gave you 2 options. You could write about one of true trickster figures. One is Brer Rabbit. He's an American folk hero, I guess, kind of. And the other is Loki, who is a rather malicious trickster out of Norse mythology. And your job, I gave you the link, so everyone has a place to start, is to read up on, decide what you want to write about that particular character. Either, why he interests you, a factual history of how he developed from X, Y, and Z. You choose what you want to write about in reference to that. But then you brainstorm it, you outline it, and you compose it. And you'll do that before the break. Again, you have a choice of either Loki or Brer Rabbit. The links are there. This should be a pretty self-explanatory assignment. However, when you get back, there's an added wrinkle. Who remembers what the last stage of the pyramid assignment was? Can you get a hand? The last thing we did in the pyramid assignment, that is.
We read them out loud.
Yes, we read them out loud. We presented them. However, today we will have a bit of a higher standard in that we will A, be recording these ones, because I learned my lesson finally, and B, your editing of your peer editing will be with a mind towards what's easiest to say and present and what would be interesting for other people to know. So with that in mind, you can get started. I know that some of you have already gotten a start, which is great. If you haven't, then now's a good a time as any. So any questions about this? Everyone heard? All right, everyone put a thumbs up in the air if you heard and understand the assignment. Saunders. All right. Did not see Cornelius's, but it's cool. He's already halfway through his. All right, begin, and we'll talk to you again. If you have any questions, come to me. If you have, yeah. So, until break, this is what you were doing, and yeah, I'll talk to you then.